Hello there, and welcome back to the Love Machine podcast. Today, we're diving deep into you, the magical, limitless you. Your mindset shapes every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your success. And today, we're going to unlock the secrets to creating love and life by design. Did you know that 95% of your thoughts are repeated daily and 80% of them are negative? That means that most people are unknowingly holding themselves back from the love and happiness they truly deserve. But what if you could reprogram your mind for success, confidence, and deep, meaningful love? And joining me today is the absolutely incredible Susan Peltekian, an incredible mindset manifestation and peak performance coach who helps break through limiting beliefs, take aligned action, and step into their full potential. Her mission: to raise the world's conscious awareness, one brilliant soul at a time. So get ready today for powerful mindset shifts, manifestation magic, and practical strategies that will help you design the love life that you truly want. Let's get going. Susan, how are you doing?
Delighted to be here. I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, James. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. My day has started well, lots of coaching clients, and the highlight today will be speaking to you. I know that already, because we've spoken before, haven't we?
You are too kind. Thank you. Yes, and the same. I just off before you started recording, I said I'm listening. I'm on a binge listening to James's fantastic podcast, and what a delight you are. What a fun podcast and educational, and what a fantastic coach making such a massive difference. Thank you so much for who you are, James. So magical.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. Always good to hear. And it's good that people listen to the podcast. I'm about to launch my 250th one. It may have gone live before this one goes live. I'm not really sure. I'm recording it today. That's a big one. And thank you to everyone that's joined me so far. And I'm really pleased to have you here today. So let's get into it. Mindset shapes our reality, doesn't it?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So tell me more about what you do. How do you help people?
That's a great question. Mindset is literally everything, James, and everything is a mindset. How I help them is by having them become more aware. The only difference between each of us literally is only awareness. And when I found that out, I'm like, I need to get this message out to the world. I don't know if we spoke about meeting one of my mentors is Bob Proctor from the movie The Secret. He
Oh,
passed
yes. Yeah.
3 years ago last month, and he taught me that the only difference between each one of us, so let's say the person who goes to the five-star resort, the person cleaning the resort, and the person owning the resort, all are the same. We're all this universe's highest form of creation, God's highest form of creation. For whoever doesn't believe in God, I invite you not to be stopped by the word. I use the word Gus, God, universe, spirit, infinite intelligence, co-creator, right? Divine energy. It's really all one of the same. And when we realize that all there is awareness, our work basically is that you are Michelangelo's David. All we're doing is removing. I love one of the words you used. You said your word for this year is nonsense. And I was thinking and laughing to myself on my walk now. I said, BS is the word I use for that, right?
Yeah.
I won't say the
I
full
said
thing.
that, didn't I? I said nonsense
You
to you.
said,
Yeah. I thought, how do you know that? I told you
yeah,
before. Yes. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
you said that on one of your brilliant episodes, and I
Okay.
was laughing to myself on my walk now, right before we started recording, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, my word is BS. So we're removing the BS, the conditioning, the programming, the lies, if you will, of the conditioning and programming, so that you can truly unleash into the essence, the magical version of you are that is already there. It's just underneath.
Right. So awareness is the secret. So you can guess the next question. How do
Tell
you
me.
become more aware?
You get curious. That's a fantastic question. No one's asked
Yeah.
me that. We study daily, but
Yeah.
there are so many sayings out there in English that we really, I invite all your fantastic, great, intelligent listeners to start thinking about. Like, for example, we've all been brought up, or a lot of us have. I never want to say all so that I'm accurate, and never say never, right? With the saying curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity is one of the most beautiful ways of being. So I thought it was wrong all my life. I wasn't curious about being curious, and I think it all starts with curiosity. And having that magical childlike wonder and playfulness so that we can continually learn, because all we're doing till our last breath, James, is unlearning. Of course, we do a lot of learning, but we're doing unlearning so that we can, by unbecoming, become the highest version of ourselves.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. You touched upon childlike wonder there. I think we both got that, and that sense of playfulness, which is so important in life to convey to people, because people have a lot of hurt and pain and trauma in their lives, don't they? And that often stems back to childhood. Yes. So that's the trouble. I think we are aware of certain things, and this affects us when we're younger, and it has such a massive impact on us as adults. Even me, as confident as I am, there are still thoughts and things that come in my brain that stop me. And that's just normal, isn't it?
100%. You said it so beautifully. And this is one of the gifts that you don't know yet that you've given to me as I was listening to you. And I saw the childlike wonder, obviously, from our first interaction in you, and then listening to your fantastic episodes. You made me realize that the older I'm getting, the more playful I'm becoming. The older I'm getting, the more childlike wonder and awe I'm cultivating, because what is the alternative, James? And right, for whoever's listening in, dealing with traumas, we have nothing but the deepest compassion and love. If we can just turn that around by saying, and I'm getting goosebumps here, James, that it all happened for us. Perspective is everything. You've heard it said before. Perception is one of our higher faculties. If we could only turn it around to say, well, this happened for me, because otherwise we're going to live in that story and we're going to take it till our grave.
Yeah, very much so. I think we do that. I think we beat ourselves up over things that have happened in the past, and we don't realize it happened for a reason. It's made us who we are. And if you were to go back and change that, and change your path in a different way, say I did something different when I was in my 20s, or I acted differently, I wouldn't be where I am now, because your path would have gone off somewhere else. I'm so fortunate to be where I am now, and each of us are fortunate in different ways. It might not be all the same ways, but in different ways. If we change stuff, then we wouldn't have what we got now. We wouldn't be able to appreciate it or enjoy it. So I wouldn't have my kids, wouldn't have my wife, wouldn't have the lovely life I've got. But in the moment, though, it does cause a lot of pain and trauma. You stress about stuff and you worry about them. So as you just said, what is the alternative? You've got a choice out there. Either you can embrace the world, be playful, be curious, see what's out there, or you can be mope around and think, well, what is the point? What is the point? I'm a failure. I can never do this. And I think what we do, both of us, we empower people, don't we, to do that?
Well, you definitely do. And I do too, apparently. Yes. This is our life's work. I love how when I listened to different ones you had with different, I shared with you off the recording that it was 3 different fantastic coaches and lovely ladies. Each one, we're all doing the same thing, because it's all one of the same, whether you're looking to manifest love or manifest money, it's all energy. It's all one of the same. So I love that we're really all literally holding each other's hands to go back to who we really are, which is pure liquid love. It's a remembrance of who we are. That's all. We've forgotten. We already know who we are. Yeah.
Very much so. I need to get more men on the podcast, don't they? It's funny. There's more people in this industry, I think, who are female. That's probably what it comes down to overall. Yeah.
Oh, is that so?
Maybe it is, but maybe just that's what I'm naturally drawn to. Maybe women, maybe not. I love women, of course, but that's going to go down the wrong path, that conversation. But I think, I don't know, I love guys as well. And I think there's men have a lot to offer. And of course, I've had men on the podcast before. But I need to go out and actively search some more, because you made me realise that the majority of my guests are female, aren't they? Unless they're starting a dating app, when it tends to be more tech-minded men. But that's just a thought.
Well, you're making a massive, massive difference. That's all that matters. And if you want to attract more men, I'm sure you'll do that on the podcast. And I can't wait to hear them as well.
So how did you get into this yourself?
This, much like what you said earlier, how you get moments where, although you're James Preece and you know that, JP, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel the confidence. So I didn't have it my entire life, James, up until the inner work. And I can't say how the inner work is so peaceful and so freeing. I'm sure as I heard how spiritual you are. I see it in your embodiment of it. So this is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. the only thing since I can remember, since childhood, and I never believed in myself. So I've been a flight attendant, I've been a debt collector, I've been a teacher of English as a second language at college in my 20s. I've been a mortgage underwriter and a realtor in the city in Toronto until I'm like, oh no, that's it. One decision I made right before COVID. It was literally 5 years ago this time. Right, we didn't know in Toronto COVID had hit yet. I made one decision that I'm retiring from real estate. One of the best decisions of my life. Through the law of manifestation, attracted the #1 Remax worldwide real estate office. That happens to be a Canadian brand that I didn't know. I had interviewed them, James, to work with them as a realtor, and I had chosen not to work with them. That was a very poor decision on my end, but again, divinely, right? And I shared that with the owner. He said, what's your vision, young lady? I said, it's to touch the billions. And he said, I'm going to help you. He filled up all my spots during COVID.
Right.
So this was it. This was 5 years ago, but I was doing it for free prior for another 3-4 years. And I don't work a day in my life. I get to serve. I said, I believe we're all love. Love is service. And every day is an adventure, a magical one.
I completely agree with that. I love that. It's the same energy as me. We're not working, we're just helping people, and that's the best thing. And having nice chats with people. That's what I do. I think having nice conversations, and
yes,
and you've just proven though, because you're a living embodiment of what you're teaching, because you have achieved that and you're on the right path now. But you have to do a lot of the wrong things to get to do the right thing. And it's true of dating as well. The cliche is you have to kiss a lot of frogs. But the way that I would say that, I think you mentioned that you're single. That's another conversation another time. But it's a cliche. But the reality is you have to work out what you don't want in order to work out what you do. Otherwise, how can you recognize that when it comes along? And that's true to you. It's true to me. I've done many different jobs before this. I've been doing this for 20 years now. But before that, I had many different roles. I was an actor. I was a private investigator for a while. I was all sorts of wonderful things. But yeah, it's all the same thing ultimately. And it all shapes up and it makes you evolve. I think evolving, it comes also, something that I want to talk about is manifesting.
yes.
You mentioned that yourself as well.
Yeah.
So what part does manifestation have when it comes to living your best life? I have my own thoughts on this, but I'd love to hear it from an expert.
Well, I think you are an expert on this, by the way, and you are doing a fantastic job at it. It's everything, James. It's a fantastic question. We're constantly and consistently manifesting. And I love, love, love how you said that. You said we need to, kiss the frogs to learn because we need to get to see what we don't want. And in the law of attraction, that is called contrast. Most people, because of their traumas, unfortunately, they cave. They're like, well, oh no, another, word
Setback. Yeah.
all right. Yes. A setback. Thank you for mentioning it. Is a setup for your quantum leaps. The setback is a setup for your best life. So manifesting, literally my first invitation to all the precious souls listening in would be to take pen to paper and write down everything you want. And all the things that you don't want are a gift for you to actually write the complete opposite of it. It makes it really easy, right? And then to focus on that instead of focusing on what's not working. So we're constantly and consistently manifesting. We're actually placed on planet Earth to manipulate energy, which means to manifest, which means to co-create. We're powerful co-creators, and we're constantly and consistently co-creating, but most, unfortunately, aren't creating by design. And if they're listening into your brilliant podcast, they will be manifesting by design, because then the focus is on what they want versus on what they don't want. Does that make sense?
It does. You have to do that. And when I work with my clients, we always work out, because I teach law of attraction. I do. It's an important foundation to this. I live that much as I can myself. I say, write down the things you want in your ideal partner. How does that look like to you in a relationship? And so many people say, well, I don't want someone who's this. I don't want somebody who's a smoker. I won't date someone who earns X amount of money, or someone. I say, you're focusing on what you don't want. You've got to focus on what you do. Otherwise, the brain and the world will manifest for you what you don't want. And that's what's been happening for many people. They've become stuck because they believe that they're not really deserving of this. And I think realizing that we are capable of achieving anything that we want and manifesting whatever we want, that's the magic, isn't it? because people don't believe it. They have the doubt and they have the lack of confidence. So how do you help people work on that, on the self-love and the self-confidence? Two very, very popular themes on the podcast, of course.
Wow, I love this question 100%. And you touched on it brilliantly, James. And we're all saying the same thing, whether it was the fitness gal, whether it's, the anxiety coach, they were all saying the same. It goes back to childhood, of course. And it's all story, not to diminish the story, right? It's all made up. Let's make up what we want. Let's co-author by design what we want. So it starts with number 0 on the list is for you to really get crystal clear on what you want. And then the only prerequisite to having it all is knowing what we want. So get clear on that. There's a caveat, James. We don't get what we want. We get who we're being. And you know that far too well, right? And then, so it's that self-concept, self-image, your identity, if you will, and to go to work on that and show up as that person. And in our toxic, especially social media culture, there's this thing of let me fake it till I make it type of thing. There is no faking required here. The word is act as if. So let's say someone is trying to manifest more money, right? They want to become a multimillionaire. They're not to go and take loans out to start to pretend to be and multimillionaires. They can literally mentally rehearse that in their mind. That's $0. They can literally circulate money by watching their mind movie, creating a vision movie, right? They could literally do that by going and spending their money, circulating it by buying everything online that they want without spending a penny, right? So these are ways you can use your limitless mind to actually create what you want and have that feeling first, because what we're really going after is the feeling.
Yeah.
Feel it first, be it first, and then it's yours. That's the promise. But what most are wanting to do is let me have it to be it. Well, it will not happen even if we turn blue or green or blue and green. You know it. Yes.
Because the brain doesn't know how to deal with it. So you've got to teach it how to deal with it in the first place. And
Yes.
I want to elaborate on that because you touched upon, you said the phrase mind movie just now.
Yes.
Now, I know exactly what you mean by that, but some of our listeners won't know. So can you just explain that a bit more, a mind movie is?
Yes, absolutely. Would be overjoyed to do that. Thank you, James. So we all know what a vision board is. We actually can put pieces of pictures that we like on a board or on our phones, like it can be digital these days as well. Yeah. This is a complete way of doing it where it's a movie that you can watch. So you're actually creating an audio version, putting your self-image in it, music, because the subconscious mind is the emotional mind, and that's what manifests, right, for us. 95 to 98% of our results is coming from the subconscious. And then you actually watch that every day. And it could be physically that you're watching it. And by the way, I have no stocks in the app Mind Movie. I have that. I recommend it. But you.
Oh, it's a real app, is it?
Yeah, it's called Mind Movie. You purchase it once. You put up all of your pictures and watch yourself every day. It could be all areas of your life because, as I mentioned, it's all one of the same. And you could literally view it in your mind's eye, which is the most powerful. Imagination is one of our higher faculties. We're all imagining all day, every day. Most are imagining the complete opposite of what they want, right? My invitation to them is to actually start imagining what they do want, because that's how powerful you are. You're co-creator, and let's co-create by design.
Love that so much. I was thinking when you were saying that, something that I offer my own clients. Many people, for example, obviously dating's my forte. So people don't know how to date. They're nervous about dating and they're not sure what to do. And I would teach them that. But the only way they can really, of course, doing exercises in your mind before and doing role plays in your head about how it's going to, visualizing how it's going to go well, works really, really well. But what I do now, I offer mock dates to people. So they can actually do a live or a virtual date with somebody over a computer with one of my team. And they can practice going on a date. And when they've done that, they are prepared, because knowledge is power. And by doing it, they've rehearsed it and they feel so much more confident. And you can do the same in many different aspects of your life, can't you? I think if you want to get fit, just talking to a fitness coach is the first steps to this. Because at the moment you've got no plan, you haven't got a clue. Or get a fitness magazine, go and get a women's health or a men's health, have a flick through. Just start to visualize this and how it could possibly look for you. Because some people have got no idea. And they go through life just wandering around in the dark, don't know what I really want. How are you going to achieve it if you never know? So by design, I think is the key phrase that you've used many times here. And that is, of course, part of your brand, isn't it, into that? So how exactly do you get that clarity? Any advice on that?
Yes, yes, and I want to acknowledge you on what you're offering there to your clients is fantastic, because that's mental rehearsal that they could do on their own, which most don't. So
Yeah.
you're actually holding them to account, which you discussed with another coach, which is part of what I offer. We all really are privileged to have coaches who hold us to account. I love what you're doing there, James.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're so welcome. Thank you for that fantastic service. What was the question again? The by design, how to start?
Oh,
Yes.
what about the getting clear on this, the clarity?
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, it's turning all of these devices off. Okay. Going to your
Yeah.
place. For me, it's and for so many of us, it's the beach, it's the sun. It's really going that place where you were right before you went to school, before you were told to shut up and sit down at the corner and not asked to be dreaming big. Like 1 minute you were an astronaut, the next minute you were a doctor, and no one was questioning what you were doing. And then the system, followed that. So go to a place and really take pen to paper, your favorite drink, a coffee, a tea, whatever that might be, and start writing out what is it that you want. Not what your spouse wants, not what your ex wants, not what your children want, not what your parents want, not what the school system or the system taught you. What social media, a coach is telling you, what is it that you want in your heart of hearts? When we silence all that chatter, James, and you know this because I heard that you meditate sometimes, wink, wink.
I
Yeah.
try. I try. That was the
Yes.
wink, wink. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, that is fantastic that you are making an attempt. And when you silence all of the chatter, there is infinite intelligence in you. And there are, of course, constant and consistent lies, the drunk monkey, like you mentioned. We all have one, right? It's that the drunk monkey, let it do its job. That's its job. That's a great thing. Pinch yourself. You're alive if you have a drunk monkey, literally, because we're not monks. We haven't decided to go and live in the mountains or the boonies or somewhere. We're living in the 3D, dealing with the reality of the beautiful, luscious, delicious 3D. It has a lot of challenges, yes, but the challenges are for us. So silence all of the chatter, go to a quiet place and start dreaming. And when you think you've dreamt big, dream even bigger. So start by putting pen to paper, writing a list of everything that you want. From that want list, put it into a couple of pieces of paper. It's called your vision. Everything I teach, by the way, is in the Bible, but I don't teach theology. I don't teach the Bible. It says, without a vision, the people perish. And I find more than 99% of the population that I've met so far, James, if they haven't done the work, it's 100%, but I never want to say that because I've met 100% of the population. They don't know what they want. And you said it beautifully. They're focused on what they don't want. And the universe doesn't hear the negation, so it keeps giving it to them. That's how powerful of a manifestor we each are, right?
Yeah.
So first, get to know what you want. From that long list, make it into a 2-pager, the most delicious, the juiciest, the most epic adventure of a lifetime. Magic. Like, we're literally placed on planet Earth to co-create. What do you want to create? From the time you wake up to the time you sleep, the perfect day in the life of James Preece. How will you be spending your day? Who will you be waking up with? For you, it's your children and your beautiful wife. Where are you waking up? What sort of contribution are you making to our mankind? What sort of trips are you taking? What sort of adventures are you living? How are you giving back? And how do you want to spend your days? See, we were taught the biggest lie is to get a job, to make money. That's the goal. Like, that is one of the biggest, right? Right?
That's just, you may as well be in prison. That's what I think. If you're, many people hate their jobs to do that and just have to make money. We've all got to make money. But if you do something you hate, it's hating yourself, isn't it? That's what it's biggest act of anti-self-love ever, to do that.
Wow, I never heard it said that way. 100% in alignment, James. But that's the conditioning. The conditioning is very deep. The programming is really deep, and these stuff are making it harder. We're spending more time here, less time in nature, right? That's why I was on a 90-minute walk listening to you. There again, I was on, but at least I was tuned in consciously to hear something brilliant. And you really made a massive difference there, right? Sorry, were you saying something?
No, I was going to, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
You made me think. Yeah.
No, this is everything you said there is that if we were to silence the chatter, then we create the vision. Now we repeat it every day because repetition is key.
Yeah.
And then by law, it must come to pass. I want to hear you because sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. Yeah. This is your episode.
No,
I can talk. I was just going to add to what you said, because you said about the phones, and that is the biggest distraction that we have. It's constantly on us, in our hands, in our pockets all day long. And I was thinking, I go for walks every day and I have the podcast on, listen to podcasts. I love doing that. All weird and wonderful things, and it's great. But I also go to the gym. I'm on the treadmill. What am I doing? Listening to music or podcast. But I've started checking my emails when I'm running every now and again. Someone needs me. Or I'm going about, I meet my brother once a week. We sit by the pond in the village. We have a coffee. We chill out and we brainstorm. We try and manifest. But we both have our phones. And we're constantly looking at our phones all the way through it. So the way what I'm going to take from this, and we've got our session today, our podcast session, is put our phones away when we're doing that. Because what is the point? I wouldn't go on a date and pull my phone out and start checking it all the time. And be more present and be in the moment. But I think distractions come in the way all the time from different ways. And we can't be clear. We can't be manifested. We can't have the great mindset if we're being distracted, because we've got short attention spans, and it's a bit of a curse, isn't it?
Thank you for using the word curse. It's a lot of it's a big curse if we use it as a curse. It is 100%. And now that we are aware, again, back to contrast, let's use it as our gift. It is a curse if we...
It's a blessing as well, because it brings people together, unites people, of course.
Yes, but it is a curse if we're having it run our day instead of us actually consciously choosing. Like I consciously chose to listen into your brilliant podcast, right? Yeah. So that is very different versus mindlessly scrolling, let's say, or listening to a podcast that doesn't serve. You're doing a fantastic job for our mankind. So that would be a choice that one I would invite to make versus, scrolling or being mindless about what we're letting in, watching a movie that isn't serving our subconscious mind or our conscious mind.
Yeah, because if your mind is being filled full of nonsense, see what I did there? Then there's no room for any good stuff to come in. So you've got to focus on, again, it goes back to focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want.
Yes.
But I will ask you very shortly about what else you do in terms of your daily habits and things that you've got. But I want to touch upon mindset just again, very quickly.
Yes.
Any last sort of mindset tips for someone that wants, right this minute, who feels very stuck in their life? Maybe it's their love life or just a general life. What can they do to really start to shift their energy today and to move forwards right this minute? Anyone that's listening, and to give them a bit of a boost.
Wow. So many different things. Okay. So let's do a succinct list of something they can do right away. So the number one is creating their vision. Okay. The minute this goes live and a precious soul listens to it, that will like literally be the difference between a created life by design versus by default, because we've been programmed since before we were born. Yeah. I don't go that far. I go from the time we're conceived, right? Mm-hmm. So that is the results we're creating subconsciously. Our work is to subconsciously, on autopilot, the same way we drive and get to the office, let's say, without even knowing how we got there, is to put so much great programming instead of nonsense and BS, right? Yeah. So that we're on autopilot, thriving, on autopilot, feeling this fantastic energy. So first, what is it that we want? And then make a decision. Just like I shared earlier, James, if I could do it, anyone listening can do it. This is the only thing I've wanted to do. And what a shame it would have been had I not, lean into the work to actually spread the love and supercharge our one world and be here with you today. Thank you for having me, right? Everything, we're one decision away from a completely different life. So if someone is feeling stuck, they could literally decide right now. It starts with the power of decision to say, I am free. And if they don't believe it, repetition is key. The same way we learned how to ride a bike, even if we haven't ridden one in 30 years, we can remember today. That's the power of your subconscious. Make it work for you, not against you. And then from that vision that we created in step one, let's create our self-image. A short paragraph, it could be 10 sentences of I am, and who do you get to be to fulfill on that vision? What version of that, of yourself, because there are infinite realities happening all at the same time, you can literally jump into a new reality by you embodying a new self. So, right, I am confident, I am decisive, I am lovable. If someone feels they're not, or they don't have money, I am wealthy. Because if we're not, let's say, even if someone's account is in the minus, they have infinite wealth. We all woke up. If we're listening to you or we're here, pinch yourselves. We woke up, right?
Yeah.
And gratitude, by the way, this is veering off the 5 steps that I'm going to give, but gratitude is the number one thing I would invite anyone listening in to do, which I know you're very familiar with. But it's being grateful for everything, not just the things we're getting or things we're happy about. Things that we're not happy about are happening for us. So really not saying we're grateful, but being grateful night and day, of course, right? Embodying gratitude and having that, since I'm on the gratitude list, saying that as you doze off last thing at night, say thank you. It's the best prayer from Neville Goddard. When do we say thank you usually, James? When we're on a brilliant podcast, say thank you for having me, right? When we receive a gift, when someone gives us a compliment, well, let's say thank you, because our subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. Now it's going to work for us 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep to say, well, I received gratitude instead of what do we normally do last thing at night? Oh, we did 10 great things, one thing that didn't work. We're focused on that one thing. Yeah. No more lying. So back to the steps, knowing what we want. Let's make a decision that we're going to stick to that. Let's create our self-image. And then that vision may sound way too big compared to where we are today. So let's create daily goals and take inspired action from there right away. So daily goals, one goal, one inspired action right after. Create the goal, and then from that goal, let's take one action. Let's say you're working on your fitness, you're 200 pounds above what you want to be, right? Take a 5-minute walk. I love how the meditation that happened on your brilliant podcast, the impromptu one, right? Start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes sounds too big. Do a minute. I used to think, whoa, a minute, 5 minutes. What's that for? Like, that doesn't work. And I realized it's baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. Before you know it, 1% better, I believe, is 37 times better over a course of a year, right? Yeah. It's literally beyond quantum leaps. You won't recognize yourself in a year. And mentorship is the last but not least. So lean into fantastic coaches like yourself who are making a massive difference to our mankind globally, thanks to the internet, and thanks for the gift that you're leaning into.
Thank you. Yeah. So many great tips there to supercharge your life, you see. I should have said that rather than boost. I'm going to go with supercharge. There you go. No. I'm going to get that in. But lots of things you did there that I try and do myself. I have the gratitude list in my head. I tell my subconscious to do nice things before I go to bed. That's the last thing. Like, it's never easy to do any of this. But the more you do, the easier it does become. Because like you said, even I was thinking about myself trying to get fit, and I go on the treadmill and I can run on there, but I get bored. So I've got this app on there. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Couch to 5K, they call it. And every time, if you heard of it, and every time you do it, you've got to go faster, not faster, but you do more and more running rather than actually walking. And that's small steps. And to start with, I know I can run sometimes. I haven't run for a while, but I'm getting more into this. But you start off that you run for a minute, then you walk for a minute, then you do 3 minutes running and 5 minutes, but it builds up from that. And the easier it gets each time, you think, well, there's no way I can run 10 minutes without stopping. But if you start with 1 minute and then you build upon it, then you get more and more, your brain realizes, yeah, I can do this. And the things that I was scared of or thought I couldn't do, I was telling myself nonsense. And it goes into the app again. And I think this is what life's about. We are capable of so many amazing things and we can manifest them, but we have to sort of tell ourselves the good stuff and stop telling ourselves all the things, reasons why we can't do it, and procrastination. I'm too busy, I can't do this, or I've got too much going on, or I'll do it when the time is right. Get on with it now. And because mindset absolutely matters. So almost my last question to you, Susan, is do you have any daily habits or routines? You
Yeah,
knew that was coming, didn't you?
I did, because I heard so many great ones, and I do a bunch of the ones that I heard.
Yeah.
What you said there was beyond fantastic. If I may invite whoever's listening in, because at the beginning, especially if we, let's say, start jogging, and I wrote down couch to 5K, I'm going to check it out. Thanks for that, James.
Yeah, okay.
Right, it's the program, it's the programming. 95 to 98% of our result is coming from the subconscious. So if we could, and the only way to not have it control us is by us repeating, as you know. So if Precious Souls could, another app I'll recommend, again, I got no stocks in it and maybe I should, it's called Think Up, and apparently there are other versions of it, so it doesn't have to be that version. And you record your vision on it, listen to it every day, visualize it every day. You record your self-image on it and listen to it every day. Go to the mirror, speak to your subconscious by looking deep into your eyes, and tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself it's going to be a great day, because what you said is extremely true. Not only is it not easy, it's extremely difficult to be a human being when it is running the show, because the programming is very deep. The more I wake up every day, James, the more I'm realizing how deep the programming is, how deep the lies are, right? And we've bought into them. We keep lying to ourselves all day, every day, right? So it starts with that, knowing what I want. My core values are there, like mine are freedom and love, right? Love and freedom, right? And from there, you're going to attract to you people, places, and circumstances that are in harmony with that, if that is what you are embodying, right? But if you're going to live in the excuses, that's all you're going to have at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right?
So true. Yeah.
Yes. So, to tie it in with this brilliant question you're asking, is to basically repeat it so many times that the unconscious becomes the conscious, and that this is your new way of being. Because, by the way, I didn't share, I have a degree in drinking from the University of Toronto, right? That's all I did. I woke up at noon, never studied, gave my parents a bunch of raise, right? And now, like, I hop out of bed, I train, I walk, every day I get sun, I ground, water, all of this, because it's a practice. So be gentle with yourself, for whoever's listening in. If you're just getting started, or you think that you're off track, you're never off track. Where you are is perfect. Know that you are literally this universe's highest form of creation. You are number one of one. You're placed on planet Earth to have a blast. So if you aren't, use that contrast for you to take pen to paper, because pain is, they say pain is guaranteed in life, but suffering is an option. Pain is inevitable. It's going to happen. But how long we sit in that dirty diaper is up to us, James. Let's choose today to powerfully get out of that dirty diaper and step into who you truly are. God's highest form of creation, this universe's highest form of creation, literally the entire universe. Magic beyond words and measure.
It is, and thank you for that. I'm sure there's many people out there that are going to act on this right this second, because you're such an inspiration, everything that you do. And by being an inspiration, you've inspired me, and you've brought out better questions out of me and made this a really, really cool podcast. So thank you so much, and I appreciate that. It's been really fun. I want to keep talking to you, but we better end, because I've got clients, you've got clients, life goes on. But I know that we'll talk again soon, maybe do some more things together. And I'm looking forward to doing your podcast when you
Yes, you'd be such a fantastic addition, and I can't wait to have you on my podcast. I want to thank you for having me. You're such a blast. Your podcast is not only educational, it's super fun. And maybe we will do multiple episodes, because I haven't even gone deep on manifestation here. So
let's do it again soon. I would love to keep doing this with you, because you're amazing. And thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day full of all the things that you want, and go and create that vision and make it happen.
Thank you. Right back to you, James. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.